A woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, not tarries with yesterday. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinity, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves all the bow that is stable. If you love children, let them fly like kites, but keep the line in your hand. They could fly as they wish, but same time you can control them if they are in danger or going on a wrong direction.
Sounds like a very interesting book. Why did you bring this particular book when I asked you to bring a book this evening, and why did you read this particular extract that you just read?
I am a reader. I used to read lot of books from my childhood onwards. I started reading at the when I was in grade 8. Actually, at that time I was not interested of reading books, but my elder sister was interested of reading books. So one day she asked, "Your brother, you read this story," and she gave me a book. So I was very lazy. I was greedy of eating, not reading. So she said, "I'll give you something to eat, some dates or something." So I read my first story. It calls Makar Chudra
Okay.
by Alexander Pushkin. It's a Russian short story, short novel. It was so impressed me in my life. So after reading, my sister gave me some food and I enjoyed. But following day, I took her book without her knowledge and I read all the short stories. It was my start.
Why is this
This,
particular book?
yeah. Actually, so I have, from then onwards, I read so many novels, from Russian novels, then English, Will Shakespeare's, then Somerset Maugham, Thomas Hardy, then Pearl Bach, Milan Kundera, Paulo Coelho, Isabella Allende, so many novels. But those novels I read only once. If I read once, I will not read again. But this is the book I read again and again in my life. Whenever, when I am sad, sometimes I get this book and read. When I am happy, sometimes I read this book. If I want to, if I want to give some advice to my children, sometimes I follow some guidelines of this book. This is Khalil Gibran's The Prophet.
Okay.
It was Khalil Gibran is a Lebanese poet and also a philosopher. He lived in 19th century, later part of the 19th century. So this is not the prophet. This is the collection of Khalil Gibran's books. Because when you ask, uh, actually I had so many books in my library.
Okay.
So I had to donate all my books to a school library.
Okay.
So, but I kept few books with me. So the Prophet is a small book, some 100 page. So I love this book in my life. I ask all my children and my wife and even non-friends to read this. I think the Prophet has given more influence to people in the world than any other novel.
Mr. Bennett Rathnayake, very good evening, and thank you so much for being my artist tonight. You are a director both in cinema and on the silver screen. You are a screenwriter. You are a successful businessman. You were a gemologist. You were an official at the Sri Lanka Customs. But who really is Bennett Rathnayake? Who is behind all those titles?
Yeah, no, I am just a simple man. I like to be very simple. I like to have my very simple life. And I like my freedom, and I don't like much troubles.
Okay.
I always want to keep away my trouble. I don't want to go into troubles. Sometime in my life I had to, but so after learning so many experiences, after learning bad experiences, I am trying my best to uh, get away from those problems and have a simple life. So I am a simple person, but I love life. I love people. I love nature. I love movies. I love books. I love children.
How important is reading to a filmmaker?
That is the most important thing, I think. So when now in my life I can't remember, but maybe I have read more than 2,000 novels. So when I read 2,000 novels, I am go into the experiences of 2,000 people.
Or maybe more?
It is not a easy thing to write a good novel. So if a writer wants to write a good novel, he need lot of experiences, lot of studies, and lot of observations. So those things, he would have spent more time, more money, everything. But reading his book, I am getting all his experiences with 1,000 rupees or something, and spending little time to read. So now last week also I read a novel. So every month I used to read at least 2 novels in my life.
Who is one person that you always wanted to cast in one of your films but didn't get the chance to?
Kamini Fonseca. Actually, it was my mistake. Otherwise, I would have casted him in my first movie.
As the title role?
Not the main role,
Okay.
but it's a doctor's role.
Okay.
Not the Joabe Vikrama's role. The role
Ravindra Randeni's
by Ravindra Randeni. Because I telephoned Mr. Kamini Fonseca's house and asked him time. Then somebody answered and he said, "Oh, sir is busy. You can't meet him." Then I said, "I am a amateur filmmaker." So okay, call again. So I was so frightened that time, and I didn't call him. After he has seen my movie before his death,
Okay.
and I told him, "Sir, I wanted to cast you in that role." He said, "Oh, I missed it."
Why is there a lack of female directors in Sri Lankan cinema?
Yeah, it's a good question. Comparing to other countries, in Sri Lankan, women are backward. They don't. All women thinks, why should we have troubles? We want to just get married to a rich man or man with some means and have children and be happy, eat and dress well and stay at home. Most of the girls, even graduate girls, including my daughters, they can make movies. They have a talent and knowledge, but lazy. I asked my younger daughter, so she has so many talents and she has good imagination. So I am asking, why you are not doing? Oh, I want to do that, I want to do that. But they are lazy and they don't want to face, they don't want to take that challenge. So it may be similar to other girls or women. I want more women directors, female directors in my country. Then it's good because they may look some subjects in different angle and different feelings and different ways.
Don't you think there is discrimination against females coming up in the ranks in the film industry?
Who is discriminating? That is their choice. If they want, they can. They are free to come, but they don't come. Nobody has blocked them. It is a wrong idea. Nobody has blocked. If anybody wants, they can do a movie. Now there are some I know few assistant directors and documentary makers, young girls. So even very recently I had the opportunity to judge a short film festival by Tamil young Tamil girls. So they have done very brave ideas. They have presented very brave ideas in different ways. So I told them, okay, you have talents, so you can become a filmmakers. Now not like those days, Tarusha. Now at present the filmmaking is digital. So anybody can try if they want to spend 200 million also they can make a movie. 1 million also they can make a movie. So they can try. Only thing they must try, and they must try. They must give their life, sacrifice little. So otherwise they can't become a filmmakers.
What is the most terrible experience that you have underwent on a film set?
I have, because when I did Aswesuma, actually Aswesuma, Jackson Anthony, we hang Jackson Anthony on a tree, and Mahendra Perera and Soumya Liana gave us down, and Giriraj Kaushal. So you can remember. Thank you for the
I'm a great fan of the film.
remembering my movie. So Sangeeta was struggling with Mahendra Perera in a top of a very big rock. So suddenly I said that shot was only to struggle between them, not to pull her. But suddenly, that camera was on, suddenly Mahendra Perera pulls her. And she just fall into a deep what is it? River.
So that shot was an accident.
Yeah, accident. But luckily I kept a boy ready for some life-saving boy. He's a swimmer. Sangeeta was not that good for swimming. So, however, she went under the water and came up after I think 40 seconds or 1 minute. So that boy pulled her, but we took the shot. I used that shot in the movie. But at that few seconds, my heart has stopped. At that time, she was only a friend and she was an actress. So now actually she is a relation of mine.
I make a film today. Why can't I show it to Sri Lankan audiences tomorrow, or even in a few months, or even years, or sometimes no show at all? Why is that?
It's a very good question. There's a mafia in Sri Lankan film distribution system. So in earlier film distribution was done under the supervision of the Film Corporation until year 2000. So in year 2000, one of the that government, they have given rights to private distribution companies. that called Dixon Nilavira report. So
Okay.
according to that is the power given, the power given to distribute film for private businessmen by that law, Dixon Nilavira's report. So in Dixon Nilavira's report, there he has studied the procedure and he has safeguarded the film industry and he has given very good proper guidelines. So when these private companies, they started with very disciplined way in year 2000 to distribute movies. So, but year by year they did their own, they did they distribute movies according to their tunes and rules. So now they choose. If they don't like the subject, they don't screen. They say okay, and at the same time that they take the whatever our income, film income, they take 10% of our income for distribution films without doing without any contribution to the rather than collecting money. Because when we compared other countries, the distributor's responsibility is very high. They do advertising, they do everything to promote the movie. After promoting movie, advertising movie, then marketing movie, they collect money and they get a commission. Ours is different. The distributors want producers to do everything and they collect money and take 10%. So it is a very injustice. So these things should change. But maybe in year 2000 that Chandrika Bandaranaike's government's decision, on her decision, they have given this distribution to the public. Now after 20 years, so we are now facing the consequences, bad consequences of this system. So we have to change immediately to improve the Sri Lankan film industry. Now our theatre owners also suffering, because theatre owners also have so much of troubles that whatever they earn, they have to give to the so-called distributors. So in my view, if I make a movie, if the theatre is willing to screen my movie, it is the business between me and the theatre owner, not not a person in between. We don't want so-called distributors. If they are doing the true distributors part, it is okay. So I think that is the most dangerous and unfortunate events facing all filmmakers at present.
How can we rectify it?
We need government to
Take
interfere.
action. Interfere.
Because government has given that role. Okay, you have a right to put theatre films, but I don't think any other country in the world have that type of rule.
Can I just take out my mobile phone and shoot from my mobile phone and make a film? Or should I learn filmmaking to make a film?
Not necessary. I have never learned filmmaking. If any person wants to become a movie maker, I suggest them not to watch movies through television, to go to the theatre and get the real, true experience. It is very sad to state, still our country, the industrial ministry has not accepted a film industry as an industry.
Mr. Rathnayake, I'm going to mention a few names and a few phrases, and when I do, tell me the first word that comes to your mind. Sanath Gunatilaka.
Handsome.
Jackson Anthony.
He is very proud.
Mahendra Pereira.
Simple, simple man,
Ravindra Randenia.
gentleman.
Aswasuma.
Also in life,
The late Joa Bevikrama.
greatest actor. I think he is the greatest actor I have seen and I worked. I was fortunate to work with him.
Privatization of Sri Lankan cinema.
It should be done with rules and regulations.
You have accomplished a lot in life. You're one of the greatest filmmakers this country has ever produced. You're a successful businessman. You're a great family man. Looking back at it now, sitting on this very chair in this studio, what do you honestly feel?
I'm happy. I'm happy in my life. But I have dreams. Still I have dreams. Yes. Still I want to write a book, make a movie.
Mr. Bennett Rathnayake, thank you so much for being my artist this evening. Just before we wrap up, I would like to end tonight's program with your own words, please.
Some of you say it is the north wind who has woven the clothes